Have you seen those videos of artists in those huge studios? They have like paint all over the walls and they're just painting on these giant canvases and they're making videos like, "Oh, just paint what you love and the money will come. Just just let your creative energy flow." That advice is actually harming artists more than it's helping, and I'm going to tell you why. So this is episode 4 of Bad Art Advice, where I break down advice I keep seeing artists getting on social media like TikTok and Instagram, and what I would do instead using an e-commerce frame. Here's what they're not telling you, and here's the question that nobody asks about these people. How are they affording this studio? Like, are they already successful, or are they making the money from their following? Or maybe they're already in a gallery and they're making these huge pieces that are selling for tens of thousands of dollars. And what this does to the mindset of a struggling artist is way worse than you think. So when you see these artists in these beautiful studios, they're painting on giant canvases, there's natural light, there's paint everywhere, and they're living that dream artist life. And the question on my mind is always like, are they already successful? Because they show you the aesthetic, but not the bank account. And they never really explain how they got to where they are. And the advice of just, oh, just keep painting what you love, keep doing what you do, just seems like that type of like the school teacher advice, which just tells you that you can do whatever you want, but reality is completely different. If you're an artist and you watch these videos, you kind of start feeling like a failure. Like most people are just in a small apartment or they're living at home, they're working all day, and they're just squeezing time in to do art on the side. And they don't have a big studio, they don't have a big canvas, and there's no aesthetic setup. You're watching these videos and you think, oh, I guess I'm not a real artist. And this creates like a gatekeeping type of atmosphere, like, oh, you need a big studio to be legitimate. We need to be free to be authentic. And meanwhile, these artists can barely afford the art supplies. So here's why this advice doesn't work. The paint what you love and the money will come type of advice is like this concept called the survivalship bias. You're only hearing it from the people who it worked out for, and you're not hearing from the thousands of people who did the same thing, where they rented that huge studio apartment, they see these videos and then they failed. And then for someone who needs to make rent, that's not really a strategy. Those artists aren't even marketing to emotion. They're just expressing and hoping, and their strategy is just to be authentic and be discovered. And yes, that works for some artists. So for the rest of us who can't wait around and get lucky and just spend all day painting and not worry about money, we have to learn how to actually sell things. That means you have to understand what the buyers want, or positioning your work around the outcomes, creating offers, not just posting your paintings and your process and hoping that the algorithm picks it up. And what you need to learn is the e-commerce fundamentals. And it's not as romantic as, let your creative energy flow, but this actually works. And then the output for this is almost directly equivalent to the work you put into it. And if you start selling your art in an e-commerce frame, you don't need a studio, you don't need to paint what you love and hope. You just have to understand buyer psychology. You need to understand how to communicate value. And that's what separates the artists who actually make money online from the artists who just wait to be discovered. And I was able to build a 6-figure art business in the last 2.5 years. I did not have a gallery or a studio. In fact, the first year and a half, I was living at home with my parents. So if you want to learn the actual rules of e-commerce instead of following the fantasy, drop a follow and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.